Right. I thought it might be fun to draw a Space Invader using the Voxel Editor as it is at the moment. It's not finished. It's a little way off finished, but it's starting to become useful. So it's like a good time to kind of show some of the features. I'm going to begin by selecting a palette, and you can see there's all these colours in here. It's the default palette. I've picked as the default palette, but it's one of the presets, which I'll show in a minute. So a bunch of colours you can pin to the left. It's quite convenient to do when you're working with small models in particular. I'm going to pick, if you see this icon I'm pointing at here, I'm going to go and pick a preset palette. So I've put a bunch of kind of retro themed palettes in here. I grew up with BBC Micro, which was, I think, came out in 1982, maybe 83. I'm pretty sure it was 82. It's got very few colours, but they're nice kind of primary colours. And I'm going to use that to draw our Space Invader. You'll notice there's a grid on the screen. You can turn those on or off. You don't have to have them on. You can also choose to have like the voxel outlines and the voxels. I'm going to turn it on because I kind of quite like the look of it. With that all done, I'm going to start painting my invader. I've got a Space Invader on the other screen as a reference. So I'm going to pick a colour from the palette. I'm going to start with red, and we shall all laugh at my miserable art skills, which are pretty poor. But let's just draw the invader. You can see I can do like a mix of single clicks and you'll see in a second I can do like drag out whole shapes, and quickly build up the invader. It's got eyes. Okay, that's that. Let's see, it's got a line above there, and then it's got its its little, I can't remember what you call them, antennae, I guess. Cool, so that's that. Something I can do is I can go and copy and paste things. This has actually got a thing on the clipboard from an earlier model I was working on. If I now just drag out around here, I can copy that and I should be able to paste that. And you'll see a model appears with different options. I've not implemented the actual dragging on the arrows yet, but the idea is you can drag those arrows around, but you can also use these to push things up and down and wherever you want them. I'm going to pull that out to there. Okay, and when you're done, you can either cancel that or you can accept it. You've got the camera controls as well here, so if you want to change the view and things, you can do so while you're moving the thing around. Anyway, we're going to carry on, and I'm going to change this to red colour using the paintbrush, which I think there might be a bug in. Oh no, it's okay. I'm pretty sure there's a bug in this when I drag ranges, but we'll carry on. It seems to be okay. I'll have to investigate that when I'm done here. You can see I'm changing the colours out to yellow. Great. And then it's not really that big a time saver with this, so I'm going to, sometimes that's very useful to copy and paste like that with a Space Invader layer like this. It's not that helpful. But next I'm going to put a blue one on there. So just add things again. So we've got our sort of invader is building up now into a sort of 3-layered model. Also thing you can do is in the tools there's a so you can turn the voxel outlines on and off, like I was mentioning earlier. You can show the voxel info, so as you're pointing at things you can see what you're pointing at, see the colour and its position. Again, quite useful for these kind of models. Do this. Pardon me. The other thing I've done with this is I've kind of focused on kind of fixed sized voxel models with this editor so far. The reason for that is I'm working on a city builder. I sort of put it on pause to do this because I was getting frustrated with voxel editing tools. So it's on pause for a minute, but I need to draw sort of buildings in fixed sizes. So I wanted to start with a kind of a sprite type editor where things are a fixed size. But I'll probably come back and make it support landscapes. You can do large models, and I've done some of the work to kind of optimize that, but not all of it. But it's I've kind of focused it for now on the kind of things I want to use, which is I tend to, if you follow my blog or my YouTube, I tend to work on kind of retro-ish things when I'm doing gamey type stuff. I've no illusions of being able to create the next blockbuster 3D game, so I tend to keep my ambitions limited. In any case, there's our voxel, our sort of Space Invader model. Let me turn the grids off, and have a look at it. Yeah, cool. So we've got our little Space Invader-y voxel model. Cool. Next up for me, I should say there's a full undo redo thing in here, so you can go backwards and forwards to your heart's content. I didn't show it here, but you can, for example, create shapes of a specific size. So if I was to create as a wireframe, if I just create this as a lump, you can see it's popped something down there, which is a cube. Uses the same kind of system as a copy and paste to let you move it around. You can do wireframes of the shapes and things like that. So you can do planes and cubes and spheres, that kind of stuff. You can pick up colours from here if you want to pick up a colour. Let's pick up a yellow there. I've not implemented that. I thought I'd implemented that. Clearly not. Genius. I'll stop talking now. Anywho, that's the sort of voxel system, Voxel Editor as it is at the moment. Next up, I guess, is actually I'll consult my Trello. And next up, I've got to do the flood fill. I want to implement a flood fill, so you can fill in 3D or across a plane. That would obviously been quite helpful here, rather than doing pixels one by one, changing pixels one by one. I want to get those drag arrows working. The camera's really sensitive at the moment when you're using it with your finger on the iPad or the mouse on the Mac. So I want to sort of reduce the sensitivity and put a little bit of kind of a dead zone on it, so that when you're trying to move something horizontally, it's not constantly pinging up and down vertically with tiny twitches. And then it's some export stuff, so I can get this out to data I can then consume in I'm probably knocked together a really simple Space Invader type game just in WebGL and TypeScript. So I'll write some shaders and things that people can use for the voxels. I need to export it. It's using a sort of binary format internally at the moment because the models can get quite big. And I kind of plan on doing an export to JSON directly to TypeScript to vertex arrays. Also, I might do Swift Metal and to Obj, sort of wavefront Obj format. And at some point, I'll also do export to mesh, so it'll generate an optimized mesh rather than lots of individual cubes, which is can be helpful if you're not wanting to use the kind of, you don't want to break the models apart, sort of treat the voxels individually. That can be quite helpful as an optimization. There's a few algorithms you can do that, whose names I can't remember right now. I want to say marching cubes and greedy meshing maybe. So I'll probably look at doing that. Because I've kind of done that already when I've been importing from another voxel tool. I've written a bit of C# to kind of do that with voxels and convert them to an optimized mesh. And a few more bits and pieces, and then I'm going to push it to the App Store. At the moment, I'm just planning on pushing it up as a freebie. At some point, maybe I come back and add some advanced features or something as a in-app upgrade, but I've no plans to do that at the moment. I'm just going to push all this out you've seen so far as a sort of free app for people to use and have fun writing simple games with. That's it. I just wanted to share the current progress because I think it's getting to an interesting point. Thanks.